So now our song's mixed. We are going to finish it. We're going to prepare it for other people to listen to and send it on its way. I think music is never really finished. I know there are some Coldplay songs that have been released that are still changing on tour all the time. You know, there's little new parts coming in, things being added, things being taken away. You can keep on tinkering with music forever, but I think you get to a point where if you feel that it's ready to play to someone else, then maybe it's finished to a certain extent. And whenever I send my mixes to anyone, I usually give it a little test mastering session. I try not to squash it too much or make it too loud, because you lose dynamics. And that's a whole nother conversation about mastering, which is how loud to make stuff. I'm comfortable in keeping stuff quite dynamic so you don't squash the life out of it. So the tools that I use for this are, so we had the Invigorate and the Jam on the mix bus already. I showed you those already. In this case, I've also just popped this Tony Maserati GRP plugin. And Max Martin showed me this initially. I knew about it, but I'd never really used it. It just seemed a bit like a preset-y plugin of waves. But the master setting on this it turns out is really good for pop music. You make sure you don't have any EQ going. You keep all the lows, the high mids and the highs flat, and then just mess around with the sensitivity and the compression. And it makes the track pop a little bit more out the speakers. It's nice sort of compression saturate-y type of thing that's happening. And then afterwards I put a limiter. My limiter of choice at the moment is FabFilter Pro L2. I think it's pretty standard. It's not really doing that much. It's shaving a couple of dB off the transients, the big transients. I try not to go too hard with it. But let's have a listen to the first chorus through these plugins. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the limiter off for the time being, just so we can hear what the Maserati thing is doing. So here's the chorus. Here's the chorus. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly what it's doing because it is obviously lifting the level. I could compensate by bringing the output down, but I'm not going to because to me it sounds good. So doing a direct A-B comparison, yeah, it's getting louder, but it's also getting a little bit crunchier and more integrated. Nothing too extreme, just a bit of character. And then I'll put the Pro L2 in, which is, as I say, it's adding 2.5 dB of gain, just lifting a little bit more, shaving off some of the peaks when it gets really loud. Little trick, I bring the output level down by 0.06 dB. So it's not bang on zero, it's just back a little bit. And the reason I do that is because if you're bouncing a WAV down, which is a high quality file, and then you convert that WAV to an MP3 or an AAC file, and I always like doing an AAC because it sounds loads better than MP3, to give to someone because they don't want to download a WAV, it's too big. Then by doing this, it stops any distortion. Sometimes when you convert files from WAV to MP3, and then they're right up against the end stops, the conversion process doesn't like it, and it produces artifacts and goes a bit weird. This kind of safety net for that. So let's have a listen to this Pro L2, see what it's doing.